We're going to tackle the famous double fugue in Beethoven's incredible choral Ninth Symphony. Check out my fugue video for more on the theory, but we're going to do two things here. Firstly, look at the double fugue in action, and after, use that knowledge to make a stab at what the work might be trying to tell us about the meaning of life and our place in the universe, no less. Beethoven used many fugues in his works, particularly towards the end of his life. As he himself said, "In my student days, I wrote dozens of fugues, but imagination also wishes to exert its privileges, and a new and really poetic element must be introduced into the traditional form." That's a signal that with Beethoven, you're going to get more than just a mathematically perfect fugue. Beethoven is a forceful, emotional composer whose works are often trying to tell us something. What that something might be, we'll get into later. Right now, let's strap in and take a look at the fugue itself. Oh, and check my video on reading scores if you need any help with that. So, our double fugue comes about 2/3 of the way through the final choral movement, and it's weaved by two very distinct strands. The first is the celebrated main theme of the movement. Here it is from the movement. And here it is as it appears in the fugue. Okay, so that should be easy for us to latch onto. Now have a watch and listen as we follow that subject for this short 1.5-minute double fugue. Okay, there's a second theme that is equally important in the piece. Here it is. And here it is as it appears in the fugue. Okay, so now let's just follow that second theme through this double fugue. A couple of other elements that aren't strictly fugues but could do with an introduction. Firstly, there's a third theme in the piece, a two-note Freude, joy, which makes its way through the voices in the middle of the fugue. also a decorative pattern that runs throughout the piece, introduced by the violins, but which also energises the entire fugue. But, warning sign, the theme's quite hard to hear, particularly in this recording. And that patterning constantly threads throughout the fugue as well. Okay, take a breath, and then let's take in the whole fugue in one go. Well, that's the what, but how about the why? Why did Beethoven use a fugue here? I think I can offer an explanation which might give us insight into this music's deeper meaning. To do this, we need to take a wide-angle view of the piece, look at the whole piece in one go. Now, up to the point of this fugue, the choral section of the ninth has really come in two sections. The first half is signified by a famous Freude theme, which describes a rather earthly paradise, an enlightenment vision of a brotherhood of man. This section describes something of a heaven on earth. But then the nature of the music and the words change. Not only does it change pretty abruptly, but it introduces our second theme. Be embraced, the choir beseeches, as it looks upwards to a more elevated, heavenly spiritual plane. This music indeed seems to take us up, where we are asked if we can sense the presence of a creator. This section of the choral feels like a cathedral of sound, as we hang suspended over the world. Indeed, we are hanging at the high point of this journey just when our double fugue begins. And, in a way, this is how Beethoven brings those separate elements of his journey together with a fugue. This is how Beethoven deals with the issues of universal brotherhood on one hand and a universal God on the other, by binding the two elements together in a fugue. So, for Beethoven, fugues can express the workings out of issues, an argument, a dialectic. This is how Beethoven can make sense of those huge spiritual issues and bring his piece into some kind of a conclusion. The fugue here is a fusion, an ideas factory in high output. Beethoven is using the fugue, or at least fugal writing, to argue out a possible meaning of, everything. So, I'm basically saying, if you want to hear one of the 19th century's greatest minds dealing with the universal brotherhood on earth that must therefore engage with a universal God, it might sound something like this. Okay, enough said. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.